Ladies and gentlemen, what's a little breeze here in Scituate compared to the Arctic, I suppose. But would now like to play for the very first time our national anthem, but there's a very special message that goes with all these national flags. And that is, now that we have your attention with the flag, and that is that we've gotten into a very bad habit in this country, which is an absolute insult to our country and the flag, and that is to cheer before the end of the national anthem. To do this is wrong and an absolute insult, and I'll tell you why. By cheering before the end of the national anthem, you're missing a very important word, the last word, brave. Land of the free, home of the brave. Now, where that brave came from, and that's the word you want to hear, and if everyone's cheering, no one gets to hear it. And, you know, no matter where I am in the country, someone always comes up to me and says, yeah, but what about you there in Boston with those Bruins that cheer through the whole thing? Well, I tell them we're working on it. But the idea is, you're missing that word, and I'll tell you why. And the official account is this. Where that brave came from was added in part to the national anthem in memory of the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence that hot July day for us. You know, this was treason. Of the 56 men who signed it, you know, they all met with their families the week before, and they said, you know, honey, when I sign this document, our lives will never, ever be the same again, and they weren't. Of the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence, 6 of them were instantly seized on the road and tortured to death. 4 of them had their sons grabbed and imprisoned the length of the war. 12 of them, within 2 weeks of signing from Virginia North, had their homes and farms burned to the ground, and 9 of them were killed on the battlefield. This is why these national flags and this wonderful program is so vital and has been on the road for now into our 6th year, to get these basic messages, the things that we're supposed to know as citizens of this country and members of this nation. So what I'd like to do in honor of this flag is the other national flags, which this will join this year, has been on this year's journey also in honor of the centennial of the Pledge of Allegiance. So let us all now take our ball caps off, place our hands over our hearts, and I'll lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag What is customary is that we will play the entire national anthem for the new flag. It will be the first time the national anthem for this flag has been played. After the first verse, you know, it's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds long, so you wonder why it's not played more often. But after the first verse that you're used to hearing, listen to the words of the other verses, the second verse when it says, as she catches the breeze, and especially the end of the third verse where it says simply, and this be our motto, in God is our trust. On behalf of the United States Coast Guard, U.S. Department of Transportation, and the Massachusetts State Police, and all the Heritage Day Committee members who have brought this to you today, we are honored to play for you now, for the very first time, our national anthem.
a pretty wonderful thing.
Look what we're sharing here, Jack. Right here, you and I.
Boy, oh boy, look at this thing.
Is that truly magnificent?
I don't think we'll ever see anything like it. I saw the Mount Rushmore flag one time, but this to me seems so much more important because it's done here in our own hometown.
Do you feel like I feel that we've adopted this flag?
This has got to be the Scituate flag.
Okay, your feeling about now, right here.
Right now that I've dried my tears, and I'm always just so very proud when I see the flag anyway, but to see this, it's spectacular. It is absolutely gorgeous. Boy, nobody would ever believe Mary Jeanette is speechless. Just that kind of a day. It just is marvelous. Love it.
Hey, Dan.
Peter.
Now, you've been with this flag. You went to Hawaii with this flag, didn't you?
Great time. The governor asked me to go to Hawaii. We volunteered and paid our own way. And Trooper Rizzo and Trooper Harrington accompanied us.
Okay.
And Peter, the ceremony out there, it was a little bit warmer, but was every bit as magnificent. The wind was a little softer, but we had 10,000 veterans. The men I should say, walked with Secretary of Defense Cheney and trooped the colors. And that soft Hawaiian breeze lifted it up as they played the Star Spangled Banner. And just like today, there wasn't a dry tear in the house.
Joan Reynolds.
I feel very proud and want to thank everyone for being here today. It's a day like this that makes us proud to be Americans and proud to all be citizens of Scituate. It's one of the most exciting days in the history of our town, and we're very proud, and thank you all for being here. It was wonderful.
And the day is going to continue, and tomorrow, right,
That's
Joan?
right. The craft fair is going to continue. We have a wonderful band concert tonight. Tomorrow the craft fair opens again at 9 and runs till 3. We have the exciting boat parade tomorrow at noon, and a wonderful day for everyone to enjoy, continue our tradition and our heritage.
We want everybody to come out here and catch the spirit.
That's right. Catch
There we
the
go.
spirit.
Catch the spirit. Okay, folks. And here's our great historian, Mrs. Laidlaw. You've got to feel very good with that background of your lighthouse with this flag 90 by 40 feet waving majestically behind you. Tell me about your feelings.
I don't think I can. You know, you just can't believe this is happening here. And I feel that this is making this a most historic spot. More historic than it was before. Because what lighthouse has had a flag like this? This flag has never been flown anywhere in the United States. And we have it here in Scituate, right beside our beautiful lighthouse.
You know what I said to Jack Conway?
What?
I said, don't tell Mark Valentine, but I feel the Scituate has adopted this flag today. I'm going to contact Mrs. Laidlaw and ask her about it. What do you think? Huh?
Well, you think it should have the name Scituate on it
Well,
somewhere, somehow.
It's flown over Scituate for the first time.
Well, that's right. And when you think it was here that our little American Army of Two, you know, right out and back here, right back there where they played the drum and the fife, and they saved the town and the lighthouse because they did that day. Because the British would have done damage to our town.
We're on hallowed ground right now, are we not?
I think so. I think this makes this very much more historical than it's been before, and I thought it was pretty historical before. But now we feel that our lighthouse is more important, and we've got to take awfully good care of it, and it is something that is going to now go down in history as a real symbol. I think of it, you know, as I said, the symbol of Scituate. Yep. And I think this flag is a symbol of our country. And here we have them both together.
I think it's magnificent.
So I'm just thrilled.
Mrs. Laidlaw, thank you.
I'm just thrilled, and I think it's just wonderful. And I'm sure all the other people here.
Thank
feel
you
the
very
same
much
way.
for your continued efforts on behalf of our town. Thank you very much. Bob, touching on a subject now, that has changed attitudes today. And what I'm referring to is that we're in this presidential race, and our president is getting kicked in the butt all the way up and down the line. There's high unemployment. People's patriotism was on the wane, inspired, of course, by the so-called now defeat rather than the full victory in the East. So, Bob, today, do you think we've gotten back some of the spirit?
Well, definitely here in Scituate we have. And
I think that Mark Valentine had some lessons that we all need to learn
Assembling everybody to take the flag down.
in terms of history, understanding the sacrifices made by the signers of the Declaration, for instance, that he referred to. 56 men of means that gave everything up to put their name on the dotted line, and I think just we need a rebirth and a new understanding of American history. I think will help put us in the right perspective as we go into the next century.
You're absolutely right. I'm going to quote a Democrat, but he is a pretty damn good Democrat, Harry Truman, that if we don't know history, we're failed to repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah, well, I think he might have been quoting Santayana, who said, those who ignore history are condemned to relive it.
That's it.
Yep.
And he lived it.
That's right. That's right.
Here is our program director, Mr. Bob Beliveau. All right, what are your feelings about today, Mr. Robert?
Uncle Peter, this has been a magnificent endeavor. I would really like to extend a sincere gratitude to all of the fine folks at Heron Cable, PCT 63, and all the other channels they serve, Bevan Stahetsy, Gary Mitchell, Cliff, all the gang in the truck. Heron has been just gracious to come down and bring their facility and give us great pictures and sound, which has just been marvelous.
Okay, there were some problems last night, Mark, that you overcome, and I think that was a great judgment. That was a great call, and here you are today. I don't think you could have pulled off a more beautiful setting than what you have here. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely right. And as I said, it's always very special when everyone gathers as a town or a community to raise our national flag. And it's such a historic moment to raise this North Pole flag. And for a year away to have it arrive here in Scituate and raise it, it's just been a wonderful day. And I think it was a good judgment call. And this way, everybody can see it 6 to 7 miles out to sea. And it's just a wonderful afternoon.
Don't feel bad about this, but I said to Kathleen Laidlaw, our Historical Society president, that since this flag flew over Scituate for the first time near the Scituate Lighthouse that's been up here since 1810, that perhaps Scituate has adopted this flag. Would you feel bad about that?
Well, I think we should arrange on a fairly regular basis, whenever possible, that we do this again.
That's absolutely great. Well, folks, I hope you agree with Mark, and certainly I feel we should endorse the idea of, as they say down south, you all come back again, huh? All righty. Here we go, folks. We're going to go right down to Front Street and show you what's going on there, and we're going to continue this great time in Heritage Days. Here we go. This is Peter Whitfield from Lighthouse Point and that magnificent flag, and get one more shot of that flag there. Will you there, Cliff? One more shot.